Good evening and welcome to Honeoye Falls-Lima Senior High School, where tonight we have Section 5 football live on the Section 5 Broadcast Network in partnership with the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. I'm Peter Carosa, joined alongside Steve Bradley for tonight's game. Steve, Section 5 playoff football, nothing better than that.
No, we have host number 2, Honeoye Falls-Lima, and number 3, Eastridge. Peter, round 3. These teams have played twice during the regular season. Most recently, 3 weeks ago tonight, we were there. Triple overtime thriller. Lancers rallied from a 17-3 deficit in the second half, came away with a 24-17 win.
So before tonight's contest, we'll take a quick look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. Tonight's first key of the game, winning the turnover battle. As we mentioned, these two teams have played each other. This is their third meeting, and one of the key things from the first two meetings was which team won the turnover battle and how Eastridge was able to come back after being down at halftime in the second meeting. So I would be willing to bet that the team that wins tonight likely wins that turnover battle.
Usually does, and especially if a team is trying to protect a lead or come back, those turnovers are always key. Key number 2, be prepared for anything. Semifinal game. The winner of this game will have the opportunity to play for a trophy next week. That's a big carrot to dangle in front of the players. The chance to win a championship. You pull out all the stops, and we have to be ready for anything.
And the last Bullfinch Fund key to the game, we mentioned it more than enough times so far, rubber match. This is the third meeting between these two teams. Unprecedented playing each other home and away in the regular season, but the way that Class B has kind of worked itself out into only 6 teams in the class 5 teams in the class has resulted in teams having to play each other twice during the regular season. So these teams are very familiar with one another. HFL took the first contest, and then Eastridge took the second, and this will settle the series here tonight. As the Lancers are announced, we'll shift over to the south end zone to see the home Honeoye Falls-Lima Cougars get announced. 3-seeded Eastridge Lancers are headed up by first-year head coach Victor Davidson. They had a 4-4 record this season. Meanwhile, HFL, coached by John Russ, class of 2002 in his 13th season, they finished 5-3. And as Steve said, this is a semifinal Class B game with a trip to the Section 5 Class B championship on the line. We had some rain earlier, but it seems to have tapered off. Cloudy skies, just under 50 degrees. I don't think the temperature will be a problem tonight for either team, but certainly the wind and the rain is something to monitor tonight, Steve.
Absolutely, and I think particularly both teams like to pass the ball, so the team that is able to not only secure the ball and avoid turnovers, but to secure catches, bring the ball into the body, and make those plays will be key. And, I just think that when these teams, having played each other, that they know each other really well, and they've scouted the tendencies, but there might be some surprises out there.
So both teams will come to their respective sidelines for the national anthem. We'll have it played, pre-recorded version sung by the Honeoye Falls-Lima Select Choir on the broadcast, and it'll be sung here live at HFL.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
And with that, we are just about ready to kick off here at HFL. But first, we'll have the coin toss at midfield. Steve, you want to go over tonight's referees before we get started?
Sure. The head referee tonight is Edward Wood. He'll be wearing the white hat. The umpire is Bill Van Auken. The linesman is Kenneth Johnson. The line judge, Billy Bowe. And the back judge will be Tim Breton. So, Peter, interesting choice here, especially given we saw triple overtime the last time these two teams played. You're John Russ. HFL wins the coin toss. You taking the ball or are you putting your defense on the field?
I think you want the ball and you want to set the tone offensively if you're the Cougars. And you had the lead at halftime in the first two games. It slipped away in the second. Just a matter of keeping the foot on the gas in that second game. So I feel like the Cougars have been able to come out in the first half and set themselves up to win, and that's probably what they'll try and do tonight as we have the captains from both teams. At midfield for the Cougars, it's Connor Finn, it's Harrison Houle, Owen Englert, and Alex Steinhoff. And for the Lancers, trouble reading the numbers here. Looks like 62. Nope.
Probably 52.
52.
52 is James Dietz. 55 is Ian Schneeberger, though James Dietz, one of their best linemen. Schneeberger, their top tackler.
Number 5, of course, Calixto. And I'm struggling to see the guy on the left here. You can see the leaves blowing across the field.
So Eastridge wins and defers. That's probably number 1. That's the receiver, Steven Macetta. So Eastridge wins the toss, defers. HFL will line up to receive. You just mentioned Benny Calixto, the quarterback. He's actually the one that scored the winning touchdown in that third overtime period on about a 2-yard run. He comes into the game, Peter, with some pretty good statistics on the season, having completed 84 of 138 passes for 1,228 yards with 11 touchdowns. He has, however, thrown 8 interceptions, so Cougars defense needs to be on its toes and look maybe to capitalize and make some turnovers.
So HFL offense will be first on the field after this kick. And again, temperature will be good, but wind and rain could be a factor in tonight's game. Both teams were certainly more than comfortable with their kickers and their range. In that second meeting, we saw a handful of, I'll say, rather deep kicks attempted at the high school level. So certainly
both teams made field goals during the game, and in the overtime, I believe 4 field goals were attempted. The ones during regulation time were all successful. None of them in overtime, and which led to the third overtime and the eventual Calixto touchdown. I believe Macetta is over the ball. He's the receiver and the kicker.
So the ball is teed up. This is number 1, Steven Macetta, to kick off for the Lancers, and the ball is away and takes a hop, fielded by the HFL player. A little fake reverse there, and away we go. This is number 2, I believe, for HFL, Grady Goodberlet, who will bring it out to about the 36-yard line, 37-yard line. That'll give us a chance to look at tonight's player to watch on the HFL offense, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right. Invest right here. Alex Steinhoff, he's the leading receiver for the Cougars. You can see his stats, 22 receptions, just under 400 yards, and 7 receiving touchdowns. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars as they come out in the 2 running back set.
And Nate Meacham, the HFL quarterback, has thrown 18 touchdowns, so Steinhoff definitely his favorite receiver in the end zone.
So on first down, it's a handoff. And this is number 42, Brian Finn, for the Cougars. He'll get about 3 or 4 yards, maybe 5, and that'll give us a chance to look at the rest of the starting lineup here for the HFL Cougars. Here's a look at that offensive line for HFL. And then the rest of the starting lineup brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. You mentioned quarterback Nate Meacham.
And Grady Goodberlet, I know that Steinhoff was our player to watch, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Cougars try to get Goodberlet involved a little bit more. He had an injury earlier in the season, and he's a very dynamic playmaker.
So on 2nd and 4, another handoff to Finn, and Finn will be about 2 yards shy, so that'll bring up a 3rd and short for the Cougars.
Almost looks like the exact same play. And when we talked to Coach Russ this week, he mentioned that he's not afraid to call the same play twice in a row or 3 times in a row. We might see it out of a different formation, but if something's working, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cougars stick with it. Third down's been a bit of a bugaboo, though, for the Cougars this season. 26 of 82, 31.7%. This is 3rd and 2, so we'll see if they're able to improve that statistic.
So HFL shifts Holden Cam to the near sideline. Bit of a heavy set here for the Cougars on the left. They end up running the ball. Goes to the left. Finn's at the marker, but we do have a flag that was thrown immediately on the snap. So we'll have to see if this one holds up. It looked like the head referee did initially give the first down indication, but...
Yeah, that flag came from the linesman. I would be thinking that it's definitely maybe a formation problem, and it is.
And it is. So that'll march the Cougars back 5 yards. So a 3rd and 2 goes to a 3rd and 7. Certainly changes the play call here, I would think, for HFL.
It does, and HFL likes that short, controlled passing game. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe throw underneath and try to make some yardage with the yak on this play.
Certainly the wind will also play a factor in the medium to long-range passes.
Right, and they're coming trips to our side. So near side of the field, 3 receivers.
HFL 3rd and 7. Tries to get the Lancers with the hard count. And Meacham looks to the sideline for the call. Meacham collects a snap, throws it near side. That's going to be caught by Steinhoff for the Cougars, and he's going to only maybe get 2 yards there. Looks like maybe 1, so that'll bring up 4th and 6 for the Cougars.
A lot of credit there to that Eastridge defense, just rallying to the ball. Steinhoff comes around, and then you've got the linemen coming, and you've got the perimeter defenders coming. I'm not quite sure who made the initial hit, but right away there were 3 or 4 tacklers there. It's going to be 3 and out for HFL.
So Cougars come in a punt formation here. This should be Blake Fisher, number 41 in the backfield, to punt for the Cougars. And here's the kick. Low kick. It's going to take a nice HFL bounce. Still rolling inside the 20 to the 15. And it's going to get all the way to about the 11-yard line. So that's where the Eastridge Lancers will get it when they start with their first offensive possession. And so the HFL, oh, wait a minute, we do have a flag on the field. False start on the offense.
And I would think, given where that ball rolled and the deep into the Eastridge territory, that Coach Davidson will make the Cougars punt it again.
So there you can see, again, 2 pre-snap penalties on the Cougars. That one was called immediately upon the snap.
And that first one negated a first down on the opening series.
So I don't think they've respotted the ball yet. Here we go. Okay, they'll march off 5. So that'll lead to 4th and 10. So Fisher will do it again. Low snap, has to pick it off the turf. Another low kick, and this one's out of bounds. So Lancers get much more favorable field position this time around. Certainly worth accepting the penalty.
Peter, I wrote it down as a penalty as a 5-yard penalty. In reality, that's a 35-yard penalty against the Cougars because Eastridge was about at its 10-yard line. Looks like the official spot is going to be about the 40. Well, they haven't done, they're right about the 40-yard line, so it's a 30-yard difference in field position. So Lancers come out of that right away with the advantage as we look at the defensive player to watch, free safety Keaton Yates.
And that player to watch brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. A little bit of confusion, it looks like, among the officials here. Just want to make sure they got everything right and they're on the same page before Eastridge has their first offensive possession.
Well, the trouble with the snap there really forced Fisher to get rid of that kick quickly. So it was not the most beautiful punt in the world, and it went out of bounds rather quickly and abruptly, so they just want to get the spot right.
First and 10, Eastridge comes out in an old-fashioned wishbone formation, little bit of deception in the backfield, and the Cougars are able to sniff it out. The Lancers do gain 1 yard, so 2nd and 9.
And Peter, the Lancers appear to be without running back Bryson Thomas, the sophomore. He had 190 all-purpose yards in the second matchup, so if they don't have him tonight, they're maybe coming in with a different approach.
And here's the rest of this defensive starting lineup for the Cougars, brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right. Invest right here.
Because we did not see the wishbone 3 weeks ago, and we've seen it back-to-back plays here.
Handoff goes to number 2, Beeson. But again, another flag thrown immediately on the snap. So again, we're only about 8 snaps in, and we've already had 3 penalties.
Yeah, this one will go against Eastridge, and good play by the Cougar defense there anyway, with Beeson getting the carry. So good that actually Coach John Russ declined the penalty to make it 3rd and 9. Yep, they
so
just reset the down marker on the far side there.
So the 3rd and long forces Eastridge to come out in a different formation. They go into a trips formation, 3 receivers to the far sideline. Calixto collects the pass, throws it. It's going to be caught, but then immediately pushed backwards as Christian Beeson. So it will result in 4th and short, and the Lancers are just on
this is
their
a big
side
call.
of the field.
This is a big call, especially without Thomas. 4th and 2, the first time around that was almost an automatic go, but this looks like punt formation.
Now, we don't have any flags that we can see, but I believe based on the leaves, it looks like the wind is going from left to right across to your screen. So I think Eastridge is going to be kicking in the wind. Ball is on the ground and dropped immediately. That's number 9, Keaton Yates, making a huge stop.
And special teams have been big early here, Peter. HFL struggled with its snap, was able to get the kick away. Eastridge snap goes through the legs of the punter. There's 2 Cougar defenders there, and Yates brings down the punter immediately. Cougars are going to be set up at the the Eastridge 25-yard line.
So mark that in the turnover battle. Put a tally on the HFL side on that scorecard. Cougars line up here inside the Eastridge 30-yard line. Ball will be at about the 27-yard line. Wouldn't be surprised if the Cougars maybe try and take a shot here towards the end zone after the
quick change there.
Yeah. Meacham to throw. Passes to the near sideline. This is number 2 for the Cougars, Grady Goodburlett, and he's tackled at about the line of scrimmage. Maybe will lose a foot or 2.
On the tackle for Eastridge, number 8, Miles Hammond, and number 55, Snedeker there to clean things up. Ian Schneeberger.
So you and I both kind of thought maybe they'd take a shot there. We talked to Coach Rush about tendencies, and given that they've played 3 times, and how much do you self-scout, and how much do you change what you've done, or is it more of, hey, knowing it's one thing, stopping it's another? And certainly I'd say that was a tendency breaker there as they go with the short pass on the quick change. And here's a jet sweep to Goodburlett, and Goodburlett not going to get a whole lot.
Eastridge line doing a really nice job on these first 5 plays from scrimmage for the Cougars. Had penetration there. There really wasn't a lot for Goodburlett there. The jet sweep kind of ran into the defense, and now it's 3rd and 11. So Cougars are behind the chains a little bit, and this is where they might get a little bit more aggressive. Although we did talk about the range of the kicker too, and Coach Russ mentioned that he's good with his kicker, who is Ezra Gathercole, going from almost out to 50 yards.
Yeah, I got here early tonight to set up, and Gathercole was kicking from the 40-yard line. And here's a screenplay to Yates. And Yates is going to keep the legs churning and get over the 15-yard line, and that'll be enough for an HFL first down. Brought to you by HFMP. They have a wide variety of locally fermented foods and vegan options to nourish a plant-based lifestyle. Check out their newly expanded selection after the game. Steve, I've been reading these all
season
fall,
long,
and
now
I'm tripping up on my words
Yep.
here as we have a Lancer down on the field, an injury.
And on that conversion by HFL, nice job by Harrison Houle on the far side as a decoy, trying to draw the attention of the defense. Came back to the center of the field, and Yates was able to make some nice yardage after making that catch.
Yeah, that's a key third down. It just felt like the way that this game has been progressing, the defenses have really been stepping up, and the defensive lines have been controlling the game, and Cougars able to. And here's here's a look at that punt that ultimately set the Cougars up here with the great starting field position. And then here's that third down play again.
There's Houle at the top, and then Meacham looks off, comes back over the middle. Nice job securing the ball. Yates goes downfield. Cougars are going to be 1st and 10 inside of the 15. And the Cougars do have a little bit of a boost to their offensive line tonight with the return of August Youngstrom, number 64. He'd missed the last few games with an injury. He gives them a lot more size up front at 6'4", 290 pounds.
So the injured Lancer was able to walk off the field under his own power. Certainly good to see. Cougars' first play in the red zone tonight. Meacham will hand off, and this is Finn. And again, not going to get a whole lot, maybe about a yard.
Again, it's the Eastridge defense winning at the point of attack. Right there, I think it's 55. Schneeberger.
Coming up from the linebacker spot.
I think we're going to be calling his name a lot tonight.
Yeah, great job there by Eastridge linebacking core, reading their keys, plugging the holes, and limiting Finn's gain to about a yard. So 2nd and 9 for the Cougars. Meacham to pass, throws it, kind of just a low pass, and we do have a flag. He was thrown in the direction of Holden Cam. And we do have a penalty, and it's going to be against HFL. Here's another look at that pass. Looks like it just didn't come off the wrist right. And that was a holding call in the backfield, so that'll march HFL back 10 yards.
They get about 2nd and 18. And a little bit of a new challenge facing the Cougars. But when I talked to Coach Davidson earlier in the season, he said one of the keys for Eastridge, which lost its first 2 games, was when he moved Schneeberger from lineman to linebacker. And that really helped to galvanize this Lancer defense. And they've been a lot better team since that happened.
After the holding call, 2nd and 18, Cougars to throw. Meacham to the near sideline. He completes it to Steinhoff, but the low pass results in him having to lay out for it. So he'll get about half the penalty yardage back on that play. Bring up 3rd and 2 sticks, probably close to about 13 yards.
Right, HFL went with the empty backfield there, sending 5 out into the pattern. Quick read, quick pass by Meacham. You wonder maybe if the conditions are impacting the long snappers and the quarterbacks a little bit. Some of the throws have not been as accurate as we're used to seeing, and both of the snaps have been a little awry.
Yeah, again, our belief is that the wind is currently going with the Cougar offense, as Meacham is under pressure and sacked in the backfield by a pair of Eastridge Lancers.
Is that Jamal D'Souza Mokbel, number 33? One of the first ones in there. And that's a huge play. It is going to be a field goal attempt for the Cougars. And we're looking at a 43-yard attempt.
So Gather Cole is 2 for 4 this season, his longest being 37 yards. Here's the kick. It's low, and it's not going to be good.
But unlike the NFL, since Gather Cole kicked that ball into the end zone, the ball should just come out to the 20 rather than giving Eastridge the ball at the 33. So the risk-reward there for the Cougars is a little bit less than, say, at a higher level of college or the NFL where the ball is spotted at the point of the kick. How'd we do with the rules interpretation?
I think you did great.
Thanks to John Russ for explaining that to us this week, right?
Yeah, he mentioned that in our weekly call with him. Said it was a rule that he was unaware of. He doesn't always have to reach out to officials for clarification, but he said probably in one of his first couple seasons coaching, he saw that on film and he said, "What's going on here?" And texted a Section 5 official, and they gave him the almost exact word-for-word explanation Steve just gave everyone at home there. So 1st and 10, Lancers. That should be a penalty.
Little pre-snap movement.
Yeah. Took a little bit for the officials to call it. Two men were in motion at the same time. So that will march the Eastridge Lancers back. And how many pre-snap penalties have we had here by both teams tonight?
Accepted, I've got 3. There was one that was not accepted, so 4. And we have probably had less than a dozen plays from scrimmage. So this is, the 9th game of the season for these teams. I would think that both coaches might be drilling that home when the offenses come to the bench to hold tight and get it going.
So the handoff goes to the far sideline, and going down the field, I believe this is number 3, Dwayne Collins, with nothing but green grass ahead of him, and this is going to be a touchdown for the Lancers.
85 yards for Collins. We weren't sure what we would see with the Eastridge rushing game with Thomas out, because he is by far the leading rusher on the team, but Collins, a wide receiver who has been a big play touchdown guy, shows a great burst there. Collins has 5 receiving touchdowns this year and then an 85-yard rushing touchdown, and once he got to the 40-yard line, Peter, he was gone.
So one of the longest plays of the season for the Lancers, and I got to think that's one of the longest plays given up by the Cougar defense this season, and that breaks our scoreless tie here with about 2:58 to go in the first quarter. The Lancers strike first as they come out here for the point-after attempt. So this is Masetta who will be attempting the point-after. And the kick is up, and it's good. So Lancers 7, Cougars 0.
And what an explosive run there by Collins. HFL had just had the field goal attempt, the penalty, so it's really the second play on that drive, 85 yards, and Grady Goodberlet's a fast athlete, and Collins just pulled away. And I think that Eastridge might have a little bit of the element of surprise on its side tonight, more so than if they had Bryson Thomas, because the Cougars had seen him twice. He'd been an effective player. But without him, the play callers for Eastridge can dip a little deeper into the playbook and come up with some things that swing for the fences with home runs, and they hit one there.
Yeah, finding creative ways to get their best athletes the ball. And that's what they did there with Collins, finding a unique way to get him the ball and just letting him make a play. And that's exactly what he did, and gives the Lancers the lead.
So now they're going to test HFL's mettle a little bit. With HFL, of the last 5 quarters they played in overtime, Eastridge has outscored the Cougars 24-7. So HFL is going to need to show what it's made of here and try to respond.
Cougars field the ball, and coming out very quick is number 9, Keaton Yates. And a key touchdown saving tackle there by the Lancers. It looked like he was intending to bring that one all the way to the south end zone.
Nice job by Yates. Picks it up about the 11-yard line. Right up the middle, makes one cut, has one tackle, and that's Masetta. If Masetta's not there, that's back-to-back over 85-yard touchdowns.
So we'll see how the Cougars respond. They were unable to capitalize on the great starting field position they had last offensive series. They have a total of 1 first down so far. In fact, Eastridge doesn't have a first down yet, but they have the lead.
But they have a touchdown, and that's what matters.
Handoff here, and I believe that's number 29 for HFL, Ben Feinberg. He was the JV quarterback for the Cougars, and midway through the season, once they lost Connor Finn, he got pulled up full time.
Right, and if there's a theme other than the big play run, it's the Eastridge defense winning at the point of attack in this first quarter. They have certainly gotten the better of the HFL offensive line to this point.
And the Cougars have like 4 different running backs they can call on. They've got Harrison Houle, Sam Martin, Ben Feinberg we saw, Brian Finn, who's been getting the carry so far. And then something we were kind of shocked with 2 weeks ago, the lineman Owen Engler getting some carries. So we'll monitor to see if maybe he checks in as this one goes to Harrison Houle, and he'll get about 4 yards there.
And head coach John Russ is the offensive play caller for HFL, so right now he's exercising a little bit of patience, not trying to chase that touchdown right away with long passes, but in 3rd and 5, I would think that he might go to the air here.
So 3rd and 5 for HFL at their own 49-yard line. Empty set. Meacham to throw. He's got a man at the marker, and that's going to be more than enough for the first down. That completion to Keaton Yates, good for an HFL first down, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. The butchers at HFMP, cut your meat to order. It does not get any better than that.
Nice job there by the HFL receivers. All of them basically went down to just about the first down marker, stopped and turned in, and Nate Meacham had his choice of where he wanted to go for that first down, and he went with Yates.
So we're closing in on the final minute of this first quarter. It's been a lot of defense with the exception of one 85-yard run by the Lancers. Cougars again in that empty set formation. And we've got...
Got to be a flag, right, with an abrupt stop there.
Looks like it might be a timeout, actually.
Okay.
I didn't see any yellow flags on the field.
Yeah, well, maybe Eastridge with the back-to-back empty sets. HFL had success on the previous play, looked to be going a little bit tempo there near the end of the first quarter. Didn't like the personnel on the field, take the timeout and get set.
And this timeout brought to you by the Honeoye Falls, or the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. Tonight we're streaming through the Section 5 Broadcast Network in partnership with the Sentinel. The Sentinel's a local weekly community print newspaper that's been proudly providing local community news for 35 years, and they've been proud to call this area home since 1989.
And just a lot of fun. The Sentinel does these games during the regular season. You and I have been fortunate enough to do it for 5 seasons, and I think that the community appreciates the service, and we certainly have a lot of fun doing it.
So you think the Cougars change the play call, or they come right back out?
Well, they're coming back in the same formation. They might not be the same play, but it's the same formation. I think Eastridge is the one that needs to make the adjustment here.
So 1st and 10, handoff to Grady Goodberlad, and he gets strung out, no gain.
And that is another tackle by number 33 for Eastridge. That's Jamal D'Souza Mokbel. He was in on that sack, and a nice job there keeping that to basically no gain.
So as we head towards the 30-second mark of the first quarter, Cougars 2nd and 10, and this could very well be the last play of the quarter, depending on what happens. As Meacham collects the pass to throw, tosses one up to Yates. Yates has got it, but he's unable to get any yards after the catch. So it'll be 3rd and 7, and that'll be the quarter. So the Lancers lead 7-0 here at HFL. We'll take a quick commercial timeout.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. And beer, lots of beer. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer should give Bullfinch Fund a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund, invest right here. And Meehan Architecture with the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. Girls diving last Saturday, Olivia C. finished in first place in the Class C Sectional Diving Championship with a total score of 370.8 points. As we have a play here, and it's going to be incomplete for the Cougars, intended in the direction of Alex Steinhoff. Apologize for missing that play. One last note here on the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. Girls swimming competed in the Section 5 Class C sectional prelims yesterday. The finals will be held tomorrow at the Webster Aquatic Center at 3 p.m. Good luck to the HFL girls swim team. So the incompletion on third down will bring up 4th and 7 for the Cougars, and the punting unit comes back on the field.
Yep, but it is sectional semifinals. We'll see if the ball is actually in the air for the punt, or if maybe the Cougars have something up their sleeve.
Here's the snap. Punts away. High kick. Nice hang time. And immediately fielded there by the Cougars.
Owen Englert covers the punt. I think the Cougars are maybe hoping for a more fortuitous bounce, only a net gain of about 20 yards, so Eastridge will start at its 21-yard line. And I was wondering on that third down pass if maybe Schneeberger got a hand on it and altered the trajectory. But the Eastridge defense been solid through the first quarter, and now the Lancers get the ball for the third time tonight.
First and 10 for the Lancers. Low snap on the ground. Calixto picks it up, tosses it back to the running back, and crushed in the backfield is Christian Beeson. Had nowhere to go. Wasn't even expecting the ball there.
No, when the ball was on the ground like that, Calixto I thought might just cover it up, but he was trying to make a play. Harrison Houle there immediately, then get some help to finish it off from, I believe it was August Youngstrom, 64, that came in to knock the ball carrier to the ground. So a little bit of the break that HFL was looking for. They didn't get it with the punt and then the field position. And, Peter, you're asking about the wind. I definitely think it's out there because the referees placed the ball for play, and it started slowly moving toward the Eastridge sideline.
So the Lancers will lose 7 there on that first down play. On second down, Calixto to throw, has to step up in the pocket, and incomplete. He was looking for Beeson there on the play. We do have a flag down.
I might anticipate a holding penalty, but with it being potentially 3rd and 17, I might look for the Cougars to decline this.
And, yep, it looks like head coach John Russ is making it clear to the head official he is declining this, so this will bring up 3rd and 17.
So this is a big moment for the HFL defense. Throughout the season, 3rd and long, opponents have had percentage-wise more success than normal in past years, so this is a chance for HFL to try to contain the Eastridge offense and get off the field. For Eastridge, it's an opportunity to make a big play and keep this drive going.
So on 3rd and 17, the Lancers come out in a 3-receiver set, 1 tight end. Calixto to throw, lofts one up towards midfield, and this is going to be too far for anyone to make a play on it. Incomplete pass will bring up 4th and 17 for the Lancers.
So the HFL defense does its job after the problem with the snap on first down. Eastridge dropping into punt formation. I think we got to be ready for anything here, considering what happened the last time Eastridge dropped back to punt and there was trouble with the snap.
Yep. And
I think Dietz might be the punter, 52.
yeah, I believe that is number 52, Dietz, and his heels will be at his own 2-yard line. So he's certainly going to be hoping for a better snap than last time. And he's able to get the kick off and fielded by Goodburlett for the Cougars. And he's up past midfield and tackled inside the 45-yard line. HFL again starting inside Eastridge territory.
But a very nice punt by Dietz, especially after what he had to deal with the first time. That one's a solid 45 yards in the air. Nice catch by Goodberlet. Solid 10-yard return, so good play for both sides there.
So we'll see if the Cougars can capitalize on this decent starting field position.
Is this maybe where we see that deeper shot with plus territory, punt from deep in Eastridge zone, Eastridge end, and a chance to make a play on the first play of this drive.
Handoff goes to Finn, and Finn's going to be met in the backfield, but ultimately squirm out of it and get about 1 yard on that first down run.
Nothing fancy, just straight ahead by HFL. Finn is able to, really with that second effort, pick up an extra 2 yards. He could have been stopped for no gain on that play.
So the one thing is trying to maybe stretch the ball down the field is they're throwing semi into the wind, I think, in this direction. So I wonder if that also played a factor on that long Calixto pass on third down, as the Cougars will run it once again. And this is Finn, more than enough for the first down. Nice second down run there. Enough for the first down, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. At HFMP, 7 days of savings means every day you save. Check out their website or circular for details of their daily deep discounted item.
Peter, maybe a second part to that is up until these last two plays, the Eastridge line had been controlling the line of scrimmage, so they hadn't been softened up. So if you're stopping the run, it's a little bit difficult to come out and fool somebody because they haven't really had to pay that much attention to the run and to worry about something coming over the top.
So new set of downs thanks to Finn's run there. Meacham to throw. Meacham pump fakes, takes a shot. He's got a man and it's caught. Grady Goodberlet, and he finds the Meehan Architecture end zone. And pending an extra point here, the Cougars will be able to tie it up. Take another look here.
Nice play by Meacham. The little shoulder fake there to freeze the defense. Delivers the ball between two defenders. Goodberlet's in the seam, and touchdown Cougars. We are, as you said, an extra point try away from a tie game.
And I'll say I don't think the wind had any impact on the ball there.
But the back-to-back successful run plays may have helped set that up.
So here's the point after attempt. It's up and good. So we're all knotted up at 7 apiece here. 9:07 to go in the second quarter. Here's a look at that 4th and 17 punt that set up the Cougars with great starting field position inside Eastridge territory.
Yep, I believe it's going to be a 3-play, 42-yard drive. There's the first play. Right, that's the second play right there. The nice run by Finn to get the first down. He's down to the 28, and then after those back-to-back successful runs, Nate Meacham goes to the air. There you see it, the little wiggle with the shoulders. Puts the ball up top in between the two defenders. Goodberlet high points it at the 5, takes it into the end zone. Anybody surprised that we're tied with these two teams? They've been so close all year long, right? Especially the last two games.
So this will be the first kickoff for the Cougars of the night. This is Gathercole. And the Cougars have kind of alternated with a kind of high kick and a deep kick to try and keep their defenses on their toes. And here's that high kick that the Cougars kind of hope for a live bounce, and that's exactly what they were looking for. That's a live ball, and the Cougars are going to get it inside the 30-yard line of the Lancers.
Wow, that might be one of the longest onside kicks I've ever seen, Peter. Very well done by Gathercole. Gets it up in the air right in between the two levels of the return team. The gunner on the far side running down for coverage. I believe it's Yates or Steinhoff. It's either 8 or 9. Can't tell for sure. covers the ball up, and back-to-back plays. HFL's right back where it was on the 28-yard line. That's right where they scored that touchdown from about 30 seconds ago.
And we've been talking so much about, well, the defense has been controlling the game, and then it's the offense taking over. But so far, it's been the HFL special teams that have made the difference so far. It hasn't showed up on the scoreboard, but HFL with an opportunity to change that. Here's the handoff, and the ball's on the ground. Fumble by the Cougars, waiting for an indication. Both teams saying they have it.
Yeah, the defense is not as excited as it normally would be if it recovered a fumble, so I think it might be staying with HFL.
And that's Ben Feinberg, who had the fumble there, and he had a tough fumble in their game earlier this year against Greece Athena.
And he's just a freshman. Let's point that out. So I'm a young player learning. So definitely growing opportunities, and the HFL staff has a ton of faith in him. They keep giving him the ball and giving him chances to help the team.
And he's right back out on the field on the second down play, and they hand the ball off. And that, again, speaks to their confidence. And that was something Coach Russ mentioned, is finding ways to get Ben Feinberg and Grady Goodberlet the ball, two of the more younger guys on this team that have kind of really stepped up as the season progressed.
Yeah, I put Brian Finn in that role, too, as a player that's going to be probably a big part of this HFL team moving forward, but they also need them right now. So after two successful runs on the previous drive, HFL facing 3rd and 10 here. I would think they probably go to that 5-receiver set. They've had good success with that so far. Now they're going to have one in the backfield.
So 4 receivers, trips to the far sideline. Feinberg to Meacham's left. Meacham collects the snap, looks to throw, looks like a screen, and he's got Feinberg. And Feinberg will be inside the 20, inside the 10, and he's into the end zone. We do have a flag on the field, but check that. That's Harrison Hoole, number 21 for the Cougars, who got into the Meehan Architecture end zone. But the Lancers are pointing backwards. It looks like this thing might be coming off the board here.
It's a hold at about the 20-yard line, and great job by HFL on this screen. The defensive line comes in. Hoole catches it and turns, and I don't know if it's a hold or a block in the back, because I didn't really see a blocker engaged with the defender from that side, but maybe it was the angle that the blocker took in the back that is going to march the Cougars back here. It's going to be about 3rd and 15 here because that's a spot foul. So ball's going to be placed at the 32, maybe 3rd and 14.
So costly penalty against the Cougars there.
And a well-executed screen. And the HFL results on the screen passes over the years have been hot and cold, and that one was certainly one that worked well, except for the infraction downfield that wipes out the touchdown.
So 3rd and 15 now for HFL. Wynn picking up here on this play. Meacham is just going to step it up, and he'll be tackled for a loss. That's a sack by number 33 again.
That was Schneeberger, I believe, Peter, and that his stats on defense this season are off the charts. Came into the game with 76 tackles, including 18 for loss, and he had 6.5 sacks, so we'll move him up to 7.5 after that play. And HFL is going to have to punt after getting that onside kick.
So here's Fisher punting from his own, the Eastridge 45-yard line, and that one just sails all the way to the far side track. And, it looked like a combination of the wind, and it's just off screen here. He was definitely trying to angle it out of bounds. But I got to think probably the wind pulled that one more than he was expecting.
Right, we see some leaves blowing on the field. The wind has definitely picked up since we started here. So HFL, Peter, I have them committing 4 penalties that have been accepted. 1 has wiped out a first down. 1 has wiped out a touchdown.
And the Lancers' late substitution.
Another new formation. We haven't seen them go 3 wide receivers much yet tonight.
Handoff to Beeson. And he'll get right about back to the line of scrimmage.
So that might have been just a effort by Eastridge to try and spread the field, soften the box, and give Beeson a few less defenders to contend with. Give credit to the HFL defensive line.
And
they were there to make the play.
We
and
missed it there. There was a flag, a false start on the offense. It's declined by the Cougars, so the play will stand. It'll be 2nd and 10.
So must be formation, because a false start, you have to take that, don't you? Because it happens before the play. Either way, HFL has declined. Eastridge with only 1 accepted penalty, but 2 or 3 have been declined by the Cougars so far.
2nd and 10. Handoff to Beeson. Beeson will get about to the 30.5-yard line. So it'll make it still 3rd and medium, just outside the range of calling it 3rd and long.
Yeah, and we have not really seen Eastridge put the ball in the hands of Calixto too much tonight in terms of making plays with his arm, and he has the ability to do that. But on 3rd and 7, I think that there's a high likelihood he might be looking for one of those top receivers that he has.
Certainly it was the off-script plays he made 3 weeks ago that certainly sparked that Eastridge second-half comeback that they ultimately won in overtime, as Calixto is just under pressure, just tosses it out. And I don't know if they've marked him down. No indication yet. Play's still going. And that's Beeson getting all the way inside the 40-yard line. And, again, that is just –
that play's going to stand. That's a first down. That's that off-script play you were talking about, where Calixto is not afraid to take a chance with the football, and he did right there. I think we all thought it was going to be ruled a sack, but right there he gets it out on the way down. Very similar to a play in that previous game. And then Beeson with some great open field running. He shifts the position of the field, and now it's Eastridge inside the HFL 40.
And you said it. He flipped the field there on that play. So Eastridge, again, I think I said it 3 weeks ago, Calixto, it's like he's playing just a little bit of backyard football just with the improv. And the other thing, he's just not afraid to make the play. You know, we've seen him. There was the ball on the ground. He picked it up. He tries to throw it to Beeson. It doesn't work out. But there's a prime example of it working out big for the Lancers.
High risk, high reward.
As this handoff goes to number 3, Dwayne Collins.
Yeah, I would love to take another look at that 3rd down play, because I'm not even sure if that's a forward pass or if that is technically a lateral and a running play. But it doesn't matter because it's a 1st down, now a 2nd down for Eastridge.
I would think that would be ruled a shovel pass forward, and it should count as a pass for Calixto and a reception for Beeson, as we have 2nd and 5 now for the Lancers as he tosses it. Ball's on the ground, and Cougars pick it up, and they're going to be tackled at midfield. Didn't get a good look at who recovered that for the Cougars. That's Harrison Houle making the play for the HFL defense.
Wow, what a turn of events right there by the HFL defense, coming up big when they needed to. A little trickery here. Eastridge with the shovel pass. It's fumbled. Big hit there was made by August Youngstrom, so he's missed a couple of games, but he was right there to make a difference and an impact on that play.
And that ball was just kind of tossed up into Collins' hands, and it never looked like he was that comfortable with the ball. And the Cougars now at midfield. So both teams have made some really big plays, and then they're wiped out by either not being able to convert or forced a punt or a turnover.
And that's a great response for the HFL defense, because a couple of plays before they thought they were off the field, and Eastridge made an ad-lib play, and then they came back and forced a turnover.
And here's a throw to Mike Meisensals for the Cougars. I believe that's the first time he's touched the ball tonight for this HFL offense.
And the Cougars may be settling into this ball control short passing game. When we talked with Coach Russ this week, he dubbed it boring but effective. And I think boring but effective can help you win games. And with just under 4 minutes to go here in the first half right now, if the Cougars are able to cash in on this drive, he'd be pretty happy with the boring and effective.
For those who missed the opening coin toss, Eastridge won and deferred, so HFL will kick off to start the second half as we close in the halfway point of this game. Still got about 3.5 minutes to go as there's a designed Meacham run. The ball's out, and this is going to be a Lancer ball. So we have
easy come, easy go, right?
We have back-to-back turnovers by both teams.
And let's see who got a hand in there, because that looked like a really good job by the Eastridge defense to strip that ball out.
And I believe
33? Are we going?
I think it is. He's had quite a night.
Yes. I mean, we joked about it during the regular season when players were having good games that they're in line for the Class B Defensive Player of the Week. But Jamal D'Souza Mockbell so far tonight has certainly opened our eyes as to quality player. And that play is equally as big for Eastridge as the fumble just was a minute ago for HFL.
So Lancers with the ball again at their own 42-yard line. Here's a pitch sweep to Beeson, and Beeson will lose a yard there. So nice job by the HFL defense. Think that was Keaton Yates maybe flying up to make a play, or no, that was Alex Steinhoff coming from his outside linebacker position to make
well,
the
and he
stop.
did a good job setting the edge, too, to force that play back in. And in addition to setting the edge, he was able to make the tackle with a little bit of help.
Looks like we have a stoppage.
Schneeberger coming off. Maybe it's an equipment thing. He does not really look injured, so maybe it's something to do with his helmet or another piece of equipment.
Yeah, it looks like the trainer's helping him. I can't tell if it's a shoe. He's sitting on the, yeah, it looks like he's getting his shoe tied on the bench there. So no injury concern. He'll be able to likely check back in after this play. It is 2nd and 11 for the Lancers. Trips to the far side. Calixto to throw. Flushed out to his right, and he's going to be dropped at the 40. This will go down as a sack by the Cougars. Clock will continue to run.
And that was Mike Meisensaldt, Peter, and after seeing these two teams play for more than 6 quarters this season, really appears that maybe the best way to get Calixto to the ground is to go low. He's made those off-script plays when the high tackles have come in, but right there, Meisensaldt did a good job. Went low, was able to trip him up and set up a 3rd down and long.
So it'll be 3rd and 12 as we hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter.
And as predicted, Schneeberger right back in at his guard position. Good news for the Lancers.
And our unofficial timeouts on the board have both teams with at least 2 as we have a deep ball, and that's going to be incomplete. Calixto looking in the direction of Dwayne Collins. So that stops the clock. I was bringing up the timeouts because Cougars will get the ball back now with 96 seconds to go. There are no timeouts listed on the scoreboard here in the stadium, so I believe there's only been the sole timeout called by Eastridge.
And that was just off the fingertips of Collins there. Could have been a big play. But as we've seen so far tonight, the special teams have been big. So maybe we've been watching all the offense and defense, but maybe it'll be a big play here.
And here's the punt. Takes a Eastridge bounce, and the player back deep for the Cougars, Goodberlat, lets this thing roll, and it keeps rolling. And Lancers trying to give that ball all the assistance it needs, but it stops at the 6-yard line. So the Cougars end up with the ball with about 79 seconds, 3 timeouts. How aggressive do you think they're going to be, knowing that they're kicking off in the second half? You think this is they feel like they really got to walk away with points?
No.
Or they come out with
I think it's more protect the football.
They maybe run the ball or do a short pass, and if it ends up being a big play, that
and
sort
then
of
you
will
go
dictate.
from there. But,
yeah.
you know, they're starting with inside their own 10-yard line. Turnovers have been a bit of a problem in the last game and the last series for HFL. I think you play it safe, and you know, if you can break a big play, fine, but the most important thing is to protect the football.
Harrison Houle is to Meacham's left. And Houle will get the ball, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield, so they lose yards.
Now, if you're Eastridge, you take timeouts.
And that's exactly what Coach Davidson does.
You know, if HFL does another running play, that'll set up a third down, you run the third down, they will have to snap the fourth down play if they don't get the first down inside of 30 seconds. That close to the back of the end zone, anything can happen.
And this timeout brought to you by the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. They've been proudly providing local community news for over 35 years. The Sentinel is a weekly community print newspaper. You can pick up, if you're not a subscriber, you can pick up the print edition at the Sentinel at a handful of locations across the southern Monroe County area as well as northern Livingston County area. Their physical print newspapers make the perfect keepsake.
And what day of the week is the Sentinel published, Peter? Thursday, so they come out on Thursday.
So the Lancers will have one timeout left. HFL, with their full complement of 3 timeouts, it is second and
12?
12, we'll call it. Cougars deep inside their own territory. Meacham will collect this snap inside his own end zone. Handoff goes to Hoole, and Hoole will get certainly back to the line of scrimmage and maybe earn one of those yards back. Clock now under...
they are, so far as they're letting it run, maybe Eastridge is out of timeouts.
No, Eastridge, I think, has one timeout left. They're going to let HFL
run one more play
and then
take it on
the timeout.
The potential fourth down play.
So the play ended at about, I'll say about
102,
102, 103. So they should be able to take this thing down inside 30 seconds before they have to snap the ball. And I imagine Meacham will be looking for the back judge or the far judge off your screen here as he starts the 5-second count. And he's got to get this ball away, and that's going to be a delay of game or that nope. Did they get a timeout called in time?
HFL called the time. And either way, I mean, you take as much time off the clock as you can at that point because a 1-yard penalty, if you're just, you are against, you don't have a lot of yardage to lose, but, if there's some kind of a mishap, though, it is right on the cusp of the goal line.
And without having any sort of play clock that anyone can look at, they have to pay attention to the ref that's all the way in the defensive backfield. He will hold his hand up, and then under 5 seconds, he will count them out using a hand signal. And so, obviously, both the coach and the quarterback can see that, and the Cougars take their first time out there, and they're probably going to come out, I would expect, in a run formation to force Eastridge to take their final timeout.
Right, and then you just hope your punt operation is clean if you're HFL, because I would expect Eastridge to turn up the heat and maybe go for the block.
And they're punting into the wind, which certainly seemed to have an impact on their last punt. So 3rd and 11, handoff goes to Finn. And Finn will get up past the 5-yard line. He'll be down at the 6-yard line. Eastridge takes its final timeout.
And those are some valuable yards right there, just because if it's a normal 15-yard snap, it might give the punter just a little bit room away from that back line in the end zone, because if your heel touches that back line in the end zone and you're in possession of the football, it's a safety.
And if I'm an Eastridge fan watching that, Finn's only got one hand on that ball. And with the way that this game's gone, if somebody can just get a little peanut punch on that ball, certainly could change Eastridge's options here late in the second.
Or if you're a Ravens fan, I guess that's called a Marlowe punch, right, for Marlon Humphrey? I mean, that big play that was made last night against the Bengals, I in the postgame interview, I thought I heard it called the Marlowe punch. But Charles Tillman certainly made it famous.
So as we've been talking about, Fisher will be actually, no, it looks like they've made a change at the punting position.
Brian Finn.
Finn checks in, collects it, gets the punt off. High kick, going to be fielded by Eastridge inside the HFL 35-yard line. And he gets to the 31-yard line.
With 8 seconds to go.
Takes about half the time off the clock there.
Right, so Eastridge with no timeouts, may have 2 offensive plays here if they don't score on the first one. But 30 yards is with the wind. That's a pretty viable shot at the end zone.
Yeah, they'll have maybe, you got to think, depends on how quick they get the ball off. They could maybe get 2 plays.
Right. I think max of 2.
Without any penalties.
Without penalties, and also the middle of the field, obviously, completed pass would run out the half.
So I would expect HFL should have 3 defenders back deep, and it looks like that's exactly what they have.
And then they have 5 across, 5 linebackers, a little 3-5-3 set here.
And they're bringing 3.
So this is where Calixto's dangerous, though, with that ability to ad-lib and the big receivers, too. And it's a run to Beeson.
And the ball's out. And it looks like HFL falls on it. So that is...
With 1 second left on the clock.
That is a little perplexing. I'm
right.
Just kind of left a little speechless. I would think they would at least take a shot.
Well, maybe they thought with the softer defense that they might be able to break it at the line of scrimmage and then trust Beeson to get past that first level and get to the end zone. But for HFL, I think you take this and run, having been backed up against your own goal line. And
looks like they're just going to take a knee and go to the half tied. We're going to have to dive a little bit deeper into the thought there. And that's the first half. It is 7-7 here at HFL. Both teams tied up. We'll take a quick commercial timeout.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. And beer, lots of beer. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left in an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And Meehan Architecture with the Meehan Architecture HFL Sports Update. Girls Gymnastics. Last weekend, Ashlyn P. became the Section 5 champion in the balance beam with a score of 9.150. Congrats, Ashlyn. So we will take a brief timeout here at HFL. We'll come back with the first half highlights. Certainly discuss the last 2 plays there before halftime, and we'll discuss what to expect in the second half of play. We're all tied up between Eastridge and the Cougars, 7-7. You're watching Section 5 Class B playoff football live on the Section 5 Broadcast Network in partnership with the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. We're back here at HFL, about 7 minutes to go here before the start of the second half. We'll take a quick look at the first half highlights here. And first it was HFL attempting a field goal attempt that was short.
43-yarder. Wasn't short by much on that look. And then 2 plays later, Dwayne Collins, the junior running back for Eastridge, goes 85 yards all the way to the end zone, Peter, in really a dynamic play. 7-0 Lancers.
And then next up it was the Cougars scoring. It was Meacham finding Grady Goodberlat on the near sideline to tie the game up at 7.
And that's where we stand at the half right now. 7-7. HFL the 2 seed, Eastridge the 3 seed.
And here's the onside kick that HFL had. It set them up inside the 30, but it was the Eastridge defense that made the stand. It forced the HFL punt, and then HFL, I believe, wound up with the ball, and they had this play.
Screenplay well executed to Harrison Houle, except downfield. There's an illegal block about the 20-yard line. Touchdown is called back. HFL goes back to the 35-yard line and then is unable to go very far from there.
And then here's a fumble that the Cougars had.
August Youngstrom with the big hit, recovered by Houle.
So then as soon as the Cougars got the ball back, though, on the, I believe, 2 plays later, they had a fumble of their own. It was quarterback Nate Meacham who had the ball punched out on him. Eastridge got the ball back. And after all these opportunities, no one ended up scoring any points.
And just having the opportunity to watch those plays again, a couple of things stand out to me, and one is the wind. You know, the kick by Cole there that was just a little bit short, but when HFL did that onside kick, when the ball reached its apex, it almost looked like it hit a wall and stopped, and maybe that threw off the Eastridge receiving team. And but each play has stepped up, and each team has stepped up and made the big plays when they needed to. As UT's two going into the half, though, what are our takeaways from maybe the last 10 seconds of the first half?
I mean, me personally, I'd like to see Eastridge be a little bit more aggressive there. They had no timeouts. They had 8 seconds. Worst case is they throw the ball up towards the end zone. It's incomplete. It's intercepted. You don't think that they're going to give the 100+ yard return for a touchdown. I think at worst case they take a shot. They go to the half. Maybe they even get 2 shots depending on how much time's left. I mean, they started at, I think the ball was approximately at the 30-yard line.
Right.
With 8 seconds, there's a good chance that there could maybe be at least 1 second left on the clock. So that's 2 shots towards the end zone. We've seen Calixto throw the ball down the field, and he overshot his receiver by 5 yards. So he certainly has the arm to do it. But they go with the run, no timeouts, and it ended up actually being a fumble. So the Cougars got the ball back with 1 second left, take the kneel down, go to half. We're tied up. I got to think that there must be something we don't know about Eastridge just going with a conservative play call. Now, they will receive the kick to open the second half, but again, to double dip.
To me, that would like almost give me more confidence to throw that pass, because even if things go sideways, you know that more than likely you're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. So in order to the opportunity to take a tie game to a 2-score game the next 2 possessions, I'm surprised they didn't roll the dice there. Out-of-town scoreboard. We have Batavia, the top seed, who is rolling 56-0. So the winner of this game, I'm ready to call it. We'll play Batavia.
Steve has seen enough.
In the Class B championship game. I believe it is at noon on Saturday at Brockport State.
I believe that is correct. So as we have mentioned a little bit, this is a semifinal playoff game. The trip to the championship game is on the line, and both teams here have had their fair share of big plays, had their fair share of mistakes, and coming into this second half, it'll be essentially a 0-0 game.
Right, and I know with Coach Russ, emphasis over the last 2 weeks, last week was basically a bye week, was to get healthy and get focused. And I think what he really wants to see most from his Cougars is a complete game, because they had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter the last time against Eastridge. Lancers, to their credit, found a way to win that game. So if you're on the HFL side, you're looking for ways to finish. If you're Eastridge, I think you keep doing what you're doing.
And we talked to Coach Russ about the adjustments after 2 games, and it seemed like both teams made some strategic adjustments from a play calling standpoint, but also from how they defended things. And now they'll have to make some adjustments again at half.
Right.
And, we cover HFL. We know, we've heard time and time again, this is the type of games that this coaching staff for the Cougars loves, these chess matches where it's as much mental as it is anything for them. Right? They have to figure out, okay, what worked, what didn't work, where do we need to change things up, and how are we going to exploit what happened in the first half into our favor.
What is the best pathway to success for the team, for our players, given the players we have, the team that we have? What can we do to give them the best chance to succeed? And I'm sure that's the same thing on the Eastridge side. Coach Davidson is in his first season there, but certainly an experienced coach. I believe he was at Wilson last year, and then at UPrep prior to that. And he was a heck of a player in high school too, at Monroe High School, John Marshall, and he played with Aquinas coach Maurice Jackson there. They won sectional titles in the late 90s.
And I think the other thing for Eastridge, it was interesting. They came out in that wishbone formation in that first series. Haven't seen since. We'll see if it comes back out in the second half. HFL Wildcat, haven't seen that at all tonight. It'll be interesting to see if they maybe bring that out, if they have to. Another thing we were talking about with the coaches is as the year has progressed, how has the playbook changed? How has it morphed? Has it become wider? Have they narrowed it? And certainly interesting to hear their perspective on that.
It was, and with HFL, it might actually it might be narrower rather than deeper, but that gives you a chance to focus on the plays that you're the most successful with. But I think one of my biggest takeaways from the first half is this Eastridge defensive line, for the most part, has really gotten the better of the HFL offensive line. HFL had that 1 3-play drive, but other than that, it's been difficult for the Cougars to find sustained success up front.
And as of right now, the Cougars lead the turnover margin, but as we mentioned in that highlight package, they haven't been able to do really anything with those opportunities. They certainly had their own turnovers as well, and Eastridge couldn't capitalize. So, the mistakes have been made, but it hasn't really hurt anyone to this point. So I would imagine both teams, that's got to be a message from the coaching staff in the locker rooms at half, is to, hey, we got to be a little bit more mindful of keeping the ball off the turf here tonight.
Right. Do your job. Take care of the ball. And I think the one player that was a huge impact for Eastridge in the first game, we haven't called his name tonight, is Troy Calkins. I believe he had 3 interceptions in that first game. And also, we got a little bit heavier dose of Stephen Masetta the last time. So if there are players on the Eastridge side that we might be looking to make an impact in the second half, maybe we look at number 1 and number 9.
So Cougars will kick off. Gather Cole has the ball teed up, and the only kick he had was that sky-high kick that resulted in an HFL recovery. And so we'll see if they try and do the exact same thing, and I got to imagine Eastridge is expecting the Cougars to do just that.
And just to note, Eastridge will have the win here in the third quarter, meaning HFL will have it in the fourth.
So ball teed up, and here we go. So this is a lower kick, and it takes a bounce fielded by the Lancers. This is number 3, Dwayne Collins. He already has 1 touchdown tonight, and he's going to be off to the races. Takes the opening kickoff of the second half to the house. Touchdown, Lancers.
Wow, what a play by Dwayne Collins. The ball, he scoops it up at the 27-yard line, and there he goes, all the way to the end zone, 73 yards. There's your quick play, big play, special teams play. once he got through that first group of HFL defenders, he was gone. So Collins showing great speed tonight, both touchdowns for Eastridge.
So Masetta will come onto the field to attempt the point after. So we got to get the ball changed out from the HFL kicking ball to the Eastridge kicking ball. And certainly a huge play there to start this second half. Leaves the home crowd a bit stunned.
Yeah, the ones that are not back from the chow hut yet, they missed it.
So here's the point after for Masetta. Kick is, looked like it might have been gotten a finger on it, but it's up and good. So Eastridge 14, Cougars 7. And here's, that strategy of kind of keep kicking the ball in play, finding the open part of the field. But Collins just with the afterburners tonight.
Yeah, it looked like HFL may have had an opportunity to push him out of bounds near about the 40. He was able to elude that effort, and then after that, Collins is in the end zone for the second time tonight.
And Gathercole, the kicker for the Cougars, was the last guy back, and he's a soccer player by day, and he moonlights as a kicker for HFL, and certainly finds himself in a position he probably hasn't been in.
No, not too. I don't remember too many long returns against the Cougars in the home games this season. So, well, we said it. This is going to test these two teams, and they have gone back and forth all season long in these three games, and here we go again.
So here's a deep kick fielded by the Cougars. This is Grady Goodburlat, and Goodburlat flying ahead, and he's got a lot of green grass in front of him. Goodburlat at the 30, the 20. And is he gonna be caught from behind? No, he scores! Back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns. Steve, I gotta think that's gotta be some sort of record in Section 5.
Well, that's a fantastic response by HFL. Are you kidding me? The start to this second half, we see a 73-yarder. Now we've got Grady Goodburlat going 90 yards. He's got a good bunch of blockers there. About the 28, goes right up the middle. And what an effort by Masetta trying to chase him down. He's gaining ground, and you said it, Peter. Is he going to catch him? Is he going to dive and clip those ankles? No. Touchdown, Cougars.
And Goodburlat celebrates with his teammates in the Meehan Architecture end zone. And now it's Gathercole, who was the last man back on that Eastridge touchdown, with a chance to tie us up at 14 points, as we do have a penalty, and this is against the Lancers.
Now, does this change your approach? If you go half the distance, you go for two to take the lead here? You don't chase points this early, do you, Peter?
I don't think so. I think the way that the defensive lines have played tonight, some of the rush yards have been hard to come by, so I would expect the Cougars to just take the point after.
I can't see the line at the Chow Hut, and I can attest they do have great cheeseburgers, but if you were in line at the Chow Hut at halftime, you missed two explosive plays.
So here is the point after for Gathercole, and it was dangerous snap there. Great job by Meacham to just get that ball in play there for Gathercole.
Fantastic job by Meacham, right? We joked about the offside and going for two, but that's a point-saving play right there, because a lot of times that play is just done as soon as the snap is off like that. But here we are 24 seconds into the second half, and we've seen 14 points in 24 seconds.
So I got to ask.
Where else would you rather be?
No. Can the Lancers do it again?
Is it going to be a hat trick? Now that would be a record, I would think. I think it's probably over the course of time, back-to-back kickoff returns like that.
In a playoff game, though. Playoff record, maybe.
In a playoff game on a Friday night with a temperature under 54 degrees. Probably not. But
with a crescent moon.
A waning crescent, or is it a
waxing? I don't know. Our astronomy guy isn't here tonight.
Yeah, he's at a wedding this weekend. We'll have to take a tutorial. But I mean, we said that these teams have gone back and forth all year. There's not a better example of that. I mean, Eastridge goes with a 73-yard kickoff, and here comes Grady Goodburlat right back. I had it at 90 yards.
And these two teams have just been, trading seems like one does one thing and the other one comes back right back doing the same thing. Whether it's a good or a bad thing, we've seen
back-to-back turnovers,
yeah.
back-to-back touchdowns, and I mean, for us, hey, what's better than that?
So Gathercole kicks this one high and deep, and this is fielded by Collins.
It's Beeson, actually.
Beeson, check that. Beeson to the far sideline, and he is tackled inside the 25-yard line. So the three-peat is no good.
No three-peat, and HFL altered the strategy there, more of a deep kick that's corralled at the 10. You know, this is a good return. It's a 20-yard return, I believe, is where he ends up. 15, but normally that's a pretty good return. But after the last two, you know, they were tough to live up to.
And that just shows you Gathercole's strength, because we've been saying the wind, we've probably been simplifying it as a north-south wind. It definitely seems to be more of a diagonal wind across the field. But kicking into the wind there, that is a very deep kick. As the Lancers come out the first time, the offense comes out on the field here in the third quarter here, and we're already 30 seconds in after the back-to-back touchdown returns, as that is number 2, Christian Beeson on first down, and he'll get about 8 yards.
And that's a pretty big tackle there by Yates, because Beeson was looking to cut that to the outside, and if Yates isn't there to make that tackle, we might have another big play on our hands.
And after those sort of back-to-back huge plays, it's now right at the adrenaline's high, and now it's kind of just settling back into things here.
It is, and you wonder a little bit about the conditioning of the players, because these teams don't have huge rosters, and the players go offense, defense, and special teams.
And that'll be real close for a first down for the Lancers. We're going to have to wait on the spot here. They're giving him the 35-yard line, and there's the official indication of first down for the Lancers.
Yep, so Eastridge back-to-back running plays with Beeson. Nice job there. A tackler got to him in the backfield, and he was able to move forward.
I believe that was Owen Englert who was able to get a hand on the running back, but he fell forward for the first. New set of downs for the Lancers. Pistol formation. Handoff. Maybe 2 yards there.
And one of the things that we noticed from Eastridge in the last game when Bryson Thomas was the feature back is that he had a great ability to fall forward. And now we're seeing that a little bit from both with Beeson, because we haven't really seen anybody catch Collins. So when Collins has gotten open speed, he's gone to the house. But Beeson seems to be more of the powerful back, and he also seems to have that forward lean that gets his team that extra yard or two.
So the Lancers come right back out in that same formation. This time they give it to Beeson. And Beeson's got the first down, breaks a tackle at midfield, and he's going to be taken down by a pair of HFL players. I believe that's Hool and Goodburlap.
Right. Impressive run there. Beeson gets to the 45-yard line, breaks a tackle, tries to go outside, and the HFL defenders converge on him, but that's about an 18-yard run.
And so far, this is kind of shaping into one of the more sustained drives we've seen from Eastridge tonight. They now have a pair of first downs on their first offensive possession of the second half, as the ball goes right back to Beeson, and we got a flag down on the far sideline.
It came from the linesman on the far side.
HFL indicating it's against the Lancers, and we've got a hold on the offense. So that'll be a 10-yard penalty.
Only the second accepted penalty against Eastridge tonight, and that's a pretty big one. It's a spot foul, so Billy Bowe marking it off.
So it'll be 10 from the 50-yard line, so that should put it all the way back to the Eastridge 40.
Eastridge, yeah, 41. So it'll be maybe 19. Yeah, well, it looks pretty close to 20 yards.
So 1st and 20 now for the Lancers. Calixto to throw, throws it over the middle. It's high and in and out of the hands of number 4 for the Cougars, Carson Meehan. I believe he's had 2 interceptions during the regular season.
He was looking for Masada on that route, that crossing route. That ball was overthrown from the get-go, and just HFL unable to come away with a turnover.
So incomplete pass will bring up 2nd and 20. We had a very eventful opening to this third quarter, but tempo has died down a little bit. Home HFL crowd trying to get into it, influence the game the most that they can. Eastridge hands off, and number 23, Dwayne Collins, is only going to get about 3 yards there. So this brings up 3rd and very long for Eastridge. Not a whole lot of plays to get 17 yards.
But Calixto definitely does have that arm, Peter, and the ability to get the ball downfield. So we'll look at HFL. Does not a big blitz team, probably going to rely on its coverage here to make the play.
So we'll see what the Lancers have on 3rd and 17. Calixto tosses one up, and just a little bit too far for Dwayne Collins. So that's kind of been so far on these deeper passes. And again, they've all been going towards the south end zone, and that's kind of the direction, the general direction of the wind. So I got to believe that that's what's playing a factor in these longer passes by Calixto.
And that penalty certainly impacted Eastridge's ability there. They were starting to do a good job on the ground, but then that holding penalty set them back.
So here's the punt. Spiraling kick. Fielded by the Cougars. This is Goodburlett going to the far side, and he's going to be tackled at about the HFL 33-yard line.
Goodburlett been involved quite a bit tonight. Second return here the second half. Nice return, gets about 20 yards. HFL's first opportunity to go on offense here in the second half.
So we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast the depth that HFL has at the running back position. Although they lost their best running back earlier this season, Connor Finn, they've had a handful of guys checking in and out, and this is his younger brother, Brian Finn, who gets the handoff. He's been getting most of the carries tonight, picks up a solid chunk of yards there on first down, probably about 6 yards.
Yep. And HFL to this point tonight has not really established a rhythm on offense. They haven't put back-to-back plays together for a sustained drive, so I think maybe that's the tone that Coach Russ is going to try to set here. Have that nice drive in the third quarter, try to get ahead, and then, play things out in the fourth.
And Eastridge was trending in that direction offensively on their last possession, but then they had that back-breaking holding call on first down that kind of disrupted that. So the Cougars, 2nd and 4, high snap. Here's Brian Finn. He's got the first down, but again, penalty. So this could certainly come back. It looks to be in the neighborhood of a hold.
Right, thrown by the umpire right in the middle of the field.
So holding on the HFL offense. So that's, as we've mentioned, a 10-yard spot foul. So, again.
Well, you also mentioned that these teams seem to be mimicking each other. Touchdown on the kickoff return, touchdown on the kickoff return. Couple of solid plays to start the drive, holding penalty. That's one time that HFL probably did not want to mimic Eastridge on that, because now the Cougars are going to face 2nd and long. Eastridge looked to be going with like a 5-man front there, to kind of loading the box to take that run away and almost put the ball in Nate Meacham's hands for maybe that controlled passing game.
So the holding call results in 2nd and 14. Meacham to throw. Looks, passes it to Yates, And Yates is going to wind up, I believe, with a first down. And he does. He gets pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So that first down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Treat yourself every Saturday with a slow-roasted prime rib dinner and all the fixins from HFMP for only $18.99 each.
Little drag route there. I like the design of that play. The two receivers on the far side kind of cleared out. Yates came underneath right along the line of scrimmage, was there to make the short catch and turn it into a nice gain and a first down. Clock's moving pretty briskly, too. It's almost 6 minutes. We're almost halfway done here in the third quarter.
1st and 10, handoff to Hoole, and Hoole will get tackled at midfield, picks up 5.
Nice play by the Eastridge defender there to reach out because Hoole had a little bit more room to go. Yeah, Schneeberger again. I should have known. I was going to say it just because my voice has been saying his name all night, but a really solid effort there to limit the damage there. 5-yard gain, but it could have been more. Schneeberger kind of squatting in the defensive side there. I wonder if he's shaken up a little bit, but he seems like the kind of kid that's going to play through almost anything that he can.
You also mentioned conditioning, having the smaller rosters, Class B schools. So many players are asked to play two ways as the handoff goes to Finn, and Finn will get the first down. Brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace, true blue local for over 40 years.
Nice job there by Finn. HFL starting to mix the run and the pass a little bit. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. This game's turning out to be everything we thought it would be.
Yeah, Cougars trying to just put together a nice methodical drive, move the ball down the field here, and take as much time off the clock as they can.
And the Cougars have not led yet tonight, Peter.
And the handoff goes to Finn yet again, and he'll be thrown down, but not after picking up 6 yards.
Yeah, you got August Youngstrom doing a nice job. The tackle spot there, the right side of the line, starting to maybe reassert itself after a difficult first half. You wonder if the offensive line coach maybe challenged them at halftime and said, guys, if we're going to go play next week, we need you to step up and do some things because the Cougar offensive line has been better on this series than it was in the first half.
2nd and 4. Cougars have been keeping this drive so far on the ground for the most part, outside the Yates first down. Hard count there, catches Eastridge, and that should be enough for a first down.
Meacham was able to get Eastridge to come offside a couple of times in that October 18th game. First time tonight, and it gives the Cougars their 3rd first down of this series.
And of course, that first down brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Haddock delivered from the Boston Fish Pier every week, making HFMP's Friday Fish Fry with 2 sides and fries all the more delicious. As we are now under 4 minutes in this third quarter, HFL with yet another first down inside the Eastridge 35-yard line. And this time Finn is going to be dropped in the backfield.
And Eastridge won at the point of attack right there. First time on this series, but we've got 55 and 33 in the backfield again. We had a lot of action from them, Schneeberger and Mockbell in the first half, and also good play there by number 11, Myron Stamps for Eastridge.
So that it will officially go down as a loss of 1 on first down. Cougars substituting. Good Burlett checks in for Meisensall.
Holden Cam on the field right now, number 7. There he is coming middle of this pack to our side. He's one of Meacham's favorite targets. We haven't seen him go that way yet. Maybe that's coming soon.
And here's the pass to Good Burlett. And Good Burlett gets to the 30, breaks a tackle, and he's escorted out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. And that'll be enough for another HFL first down, brought to you by Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Start your day off right with Kentucky Legends Bacon for only $2.99 per pound every Tuesday.
4th first down of this drive for the Cougars. I thought they might be throwing to Holden Cam there. He was one of the lead blockers there I think Grady Goodberlet's starting to get healthier for HFL. He's becoming more of a focal part of the offense. Certainly made some plays and did a nice job picking up that first down.
And I believe it was Goodberlet who, when he got injured earlier this season, I believe it was against the first Eastridge meeting on September 13th, week 2.
And he's a sophomore, so he's a 6 foot, 160-pound sophomore and a dynamic athlete to watch.
And this handoff goes to another young player. That's Ben Feinberg trying to find the edge, and he'll get about 3 yards there, the freshman for the Cougars.
And a really nice tackle there from Eastridge. It looked like Feinberg, using his patience, it was going to get the corner and maybe come close to the first down, but Marion Bell, the junior, chases him down and limits that to about a 4-yard gain.
So Houle checks in for Goodberlet.
But after those 2 kickoffs where there were 14 points in 24 seconds, Eastridge with 1 drive, and HFL, first sustained drive of the night, and they've been very meticulous and methodical and consistent in moving this ball down the field.
As we are under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, some pre-snap motion. Handoff ultimately goes to Feinberg, and he will lose a yard there on second down. So it'll bring up 3rd and 8. Cougars inside the Lancers 20-yard line. So they're in the red zone here.
And the motion, I think, did not fool Eastridge at all there. I think that the design of that play is to get somebody to go with the motion man and soften that box. But Eastridge didn't go for it. They made a nice play on the line and were able to shut that down, like you said, for no gain at all.
So 3rd and 8, and this is getting into an interesting territory from a play calling standpoint for the Cougars. I don't think it's 4-down territory. Go with the hard count, trying to draw the Lancers off as Meacham fires it over the middle, and that was dangerously incomplete.
Yeah, high pass over the middle, always dangerous for the quarterback. I think he was trying to get Cam behind the defensive backs, but both receivers were converging from both sides, drawing the defenders in there, and HFL unable to make that play.
And the offense is staying on the field, it appears. So they attempted the field goal earlier tonight.
With the win. This is into the
win.
This
is into the win, worth noting. Yes, Steve. So Cougars will keep the offense on the field, 4th and 8. I would expect maybe hard count here.
Hard count, maybe try and get the free 5. And then I think you've got the 4 receivers, maybe some slants, crossing patterns, something to.
So no hard count. Meacham to throw. Darts a bullet and incomplete in the direction of number 8, his favorite target this season, Alex Steinhoff. He's unable to reel it in. Turnover on downs. So the Cougars had methodically gone down the field, worked their way all the way to the red zone, and that trip ends in no points. We stay at 14 with about a minute to go in the third quarter here at HFL.
And if you're Eastridge, that's really the definition of bend but don't break. They surrendered 4 first downs on that play, but once HFL got close to the red zone inside their 30, defense stiffened, forced the turnover on downs. Now the Lancers see what they can do with the ball with 1:03 here to go in the third quarter.
So Collins in motion. Collins ends up with the ball, and he's been dangerous tonight. Cougars able to tackle him, though, after a pickup of 1.
Looked like the timing might have been a bit disrupted on that play. Collins did a good job just to get back to the line of scrimmage and avoid a loss there.
Under a minute. Eastridge will get to decide how many more plays they run here before we go to the fourth quarter.
Do you think the wind is a factor that they're going to try to get, obviously you're going to try and get a first down, but if you need to throw on third down, you think you try to do that by the end of the quarter?
I don't know, because the wind doesn't seem to have helped them when they've been with it. As the handoff goes to Beeson, and Beeson gets a first down up past the Eastridge 30.
So it negated that point altogether. But nice job. Beeson's done a nice job filling in at this running back spot. Looks like the Lancers have chosen to do it by committee, and the committee is doing a nice job tonight.
So the clock's temporarily stopped there for the first down. Let the chains get reset. So if Eastridge doesn't want to run another play, they don't have to. It looks like they're getting the indication to hurry up from the sideline as we are under 10 seconds to go in the third quarter, and it's a handoff to Beeson, and Beeson will get 5 yards. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter We're tied up 14-14 heading into the fourth with a trip on the line to the Section 5 Class B Championship. We'll take a quick commercial timeout here.
Honeoye Falls Marketplace. Fresh breads, donuts, special cakes made every day from scratch. Our butcher still cuts your meats to order. Doesn't get any better than that. Hot pizza, fish fries on Friday. Order your favorite sub right here. Organic foods and healthy choices. And beer, lots of beer. Honeoye Falls Marketplace. We're true blue local. Uncompromised quality close to home.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Bullfinch Fund. Fans who are sitting on IRA money that they don't know what to do with, or those who want to take control of their 401k money left at an old employer, should give Bullfinch a call at 624-3150. Did you know a working teenager can become a retirement millionaire just by starting a child IRA? Want to learn more? Call your local mutual fund, the Bullfinch Fund, at 624-3150. Bullfinch Fund. Invest right here. And the Meehan Architecture Sports Update. The HFL girls tennis team competed in the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Team Championship earlier today at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. Unfortunately, they didn't make it out of the semifinal round, but certainly a congratulations to them on finishing top 4 in the state in their division. Meanwhile, the HFL girls cross country team finished second at the sectional race a week ago. So, as we mentioned before the break, we're all knotted up, 14-14, start of the fourth quarter, trip to the championship on the line as Eastridge comes out with a run here by Beeson, and Beeson refusing to go down over midfield to the 45-yard line of the Cougars.
What an impressive run there. Beeson just gets to the line of scrimmage, gets the line to gain, breaks a tackle, squares those shoulders, and he's basically trying to run over defenders at that point. But big gain, first down. Eastridge now in HFL territory. You get a feeling, Peter, that this couldn't be too much different than it was 3 weeks ago. So close, and a tie score in the fourth quarter. Who knows what's going to happen here?
Yeah, I think the win was the biggest deterrent for the Cougars not kicking it on their last opportunity. It seems like points have been coming to a premium. As play broke down there a little bit on Calixto, it looked like he was expecting Beeson to be to his right, and Beeson was to his left. So he had to try and make something out of nothing. It winds up with a gain of 2.
And Calixto has shown over the course of the 2 games we've seen a definite ability to make something out of nothing. Only 3 yards there, but still a positive play, plus territory. You got to think that Eastridge now is starting to get some of that rhythm and feel better about its offense.
Hand off to Beeson. Beeson straight ahead. He's got the first down and more. Inside the 30 to the 20. He's got a little convoy in front of him, and he's going to score. Christian Beeson.
47 yards, Peter, and he was running with a lot of determination on that previous 18-yard gain. Here's that same determination there, able to split those 2 defensive backs at the 25, cuts it back to the near side of the field, and as you said, convoy in front, touchdown Lancers.
So score 20, Eastridge, HFL 14. Will have the extra point by Meseta into the wind here. Substitution for this point after attempt by the Lancers. Still good amount of time left in the fourth quarter. Here's the snap. The kick is away, and it is good. So the Lancers have themselves another 7-point lead.
We mentioned when the Cougars had the ball on their last drive that HFL has not led yet tonight. Third time, Eastridge goes in front. And Beeson, who we don't know how much he's carried the ball prior to this season. I didn't really see his name much on Max Preps in doing my homework. But there's the run 2 plays prior, and then here he is 47 yards away. Breaks that tackle at the 40, splits 2 defenders at the 25, running with a lot of power and determination. And the receiver knew he was in when he got to the 10-yard line. Beeson finished the job there.
And we talked about the Lancers being without Thomas, and their top 2 receivers this year have been, top 3 receivers have been Meseta, Beeson, and Collins. And certainly Beeson and Collins have showed up tonight. Lancers have been able to find creative ways to get the ball, and when they've had the ball in space, they've made the most of their opportunities. And the Cougars, the last time they were out on the field for a kick return, took it to the house. So we'll see if the Lancers maybe kick it away from Grady Goodberlet here.
Or what kicking into the wind does to Masetta. They squib it.
They squib it. It's going to be fielded by the Cougars. This is Hoole, and he gets up past the 40-yard line. I believe that was Hoole.
I think so. And a little hesitation move there once he picked it up, made sure the blocking was secure, and then just plowed forward for about 5 yards, 7 yards. And if you're HFL, a drive start on your own 42, you'll take that.
And the trend we've seen tonight has been just mimicking, copying what the other team does. So Eastridge, every time they've scored, HFL scored. Every time one team's made a mistake, the other team's made a similar mistake. So
who's going to blink, right? That's what this game is coming down to, is that question. Who is going to get the final answer?
Meacham to throw. Gets under duress, rolls outside the pocket, and he finds number 9. This is Keaton Yates. Keaton Yates inside the 30. Bounces outside. He's going to be tackled at the 25-yard line, and there's a marker late.
Looks like that's probably an infraction on the tackle. I didn't see a horse collar, maybe a face mask. So credit here, Nate Meacham just bought himself time. There wasn't anything available early in the play. Scrambles. Yates too. Yates starts on the near side, then cuts back across the middle of the field. Great job on the scramble drill. Misses that tackle. Then he's got some blocking downfield. If he gets one more block there, maybe he can go, but then Masetta's just doing anything he can to get him down. Tackled at the 22. So it looks like the Cougars will be set up maybe first and goal at about the 11-yard line.
So I missed the penalty call, but
5-yard face mask, I bet. Maybe it was just the 5-yard variety. You can't assume that a face mask is 15. So
yeah, that's what my first initial thought was it was the minor rather than the major. So Meacham to throw. Lofts one up, looking in the direction of Meisensalz, and we got all the flags thrown on that one. Likely, I would imagine that's a pass interference call against the defense.
Right. So HFL, though, after giving up that long touchdown run, comes right back on offense, makes it a drive into Eastridge territory. So now the question is, will the Cougars be able to finish it?
And that, I think, is the important question here. They've had a couple opportunities in the red zone tonight, and they haven't been able to come away with points. And with 10 minutes to go in a semifinal playoff game, certainly need to come away with points here.
And this south end zone is where that triple overtime game ended. HFL had the ball second down and goal from the 2-yard line, and this Eastridge defense made 3 plays to end the game, including an interception on 4th down to seal that win on October 18th. So always seems that like history repeats itself as we look at this south end zone here. How many plays over the years and games
Something else to think about. So Collins had the first 2 touchdowns for the Lancers. Then it was Goodberlet who had the first 2 touchdowns for the Lancers. And it was Beeson who scored the third one for Eastridge. So I think if HFL scores here, it's going to be somebody other than Goodberlet. That's my prediction.
Look at you following those trends. That's what the analytics guys say.
So 1st and 10 after the defensive pass interference, and it's a design quarterback run by Meacham, and I think he's going to be short. So actually,
it wasn't an automatic first down.
I'm confused here because
it went from
second and 1,
1st and 5 to 2nd and 1, right?
Yeah, this should be, I believe. Yeah, there we go. 2nd and 1. Yeah, because I'm looking out the press box window. We can't see the full sticks on the screen here. So
because the penalty on the defender isn't an automatic first down.
Correct. So that explains why the Cougars try to just pick up the first down to get a first and goal situation. They don't. They're going to throw here, and that's going to be incomplete.
Wow, the Cougars are fortunate there. That ball
right to Masetta.
Closer to Masetta than Cam.
And he's got 28 catches on the season. Looked like he might have just been trying to bat that one down. But Meacham, it looked like maybe had Holden Cam there on a out route.
Yeah, he was thinking that it was an in route. Cam ran an out route, and it was super dangerous because Masetta's got good hands. I would think the majority of the times that's an interception for Eastridge.
So 3rd and 1. Got to think that the Cougars are just going to try and pick up the first down here and then worry about scoring once they get a first.
You bet they are. Look who's at running back. 51, Owen Englert.
And here's the handoff to Englert straight ahead. Englert still on his feet, and he finds the Meehan Architecture end zone. And Owen Englert, how many times do you get to see what is he?
He's an offensive guard.
He's a right guard. A right guard gets substituted in a goal line situation to score a touchdown, and Englert celebrates in the Meehan Architecture end zone. And we are an extra point away from being tied again.
Well, we go back to the last game of the season against Virtus. We thought that when Englert was getting some carries there, it was a reward for all he's done as a lineman, give him the ball.
And that one was nearly blocked. There was a defender by the Lancers in the backfield, but that one's up and good.
But as we did a little bit more research, we found out that Englert has really good vision. He's one of the fastest players on the team. And the coaching staff saw something that they liked against Virtus, and then given the right situation, right, 3rd and short, he lined up in the backfield and just barreled his way into the end zone. So here's the
touchdown that, or here's the
here's
play
the
that set up
to Yates, right?
That set up the play. And we've been very complimentary of Calixto and his team's ability to make the off-script plays. Well, it was HFL's Meacham and Keaton Yates who was able to perfectly execute the scramble drill to set themselves up inside the red zone, and then it was the right guard, Owen Englert, capping off the drive to tie us up here at 21 apiece.
And you were right. That was somebody other than Grady Goodberlat, right? So everywhere and it was a power run. Everything has been like man in the mirror kind of stuff. 9:15 to go, tied at 21.
And again, this is for a trip to the Section 5 Class B championship game.
Right, and if you're HFL, you have to love the response there because Eastridge kind of imposed its will a little bit on that last drive, and then HFL comes right back and does it again.
Low kick goes right through
That's going to be a dead ball in the end zone.
Right through the defender's legs. And
right through the end zone.
Through the back of the end zone on the roll. That'll be a touchback.
So, and that ball landed at the 30, so it skidded for 40 yards, Peter.
Again, just another indication of the strength and the power that Gathercole can get into the ball.
Right, and also I think the wind may have helped them a little there. But either way, 1st and 10, Eastridge at the 20. So now it comes down to, we talked about mimicking and mirror, and it's really which team blinks first now because sometimes it's much about who makes a mistake as to who makes a great play.
And we still got 9 minutes to go in the fourth. The ball was on the turf there. Another tough snap. That's been a bit of an issue for the Lancers tonight. What I was saying is we got 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and it's getting to the point where now the teams are going to start to think in the back of their minds, how many more possessions do I have?
And the man who just scored the touchdown for HFL, Owen Englert, with the big hit there on defense, finished off by Chris Settles. So there's a negative play for Eastridge to start the drive. It'll be 2nd and 14 from about the 16-yard line. And sometimes it's just the center exchange or, just a missed assignment that really is magnified in situations like this.
Calixto to throw, steps up, and he's waiting for a whistle, and he is sacked.
Yep.
The ball came out well after the forward progress was stopped, but I was holding my breath until I heard that whistle because he's been in a situation similar tonight, and he was able to get the ball off. And that's, again, number 51, Owen Englert.
Is this turning into the Owen Englert show? Right in that south end zone there, that's three consecutive plays from scrimmage where he's had the touchdown and then 2 really big plays on defense. Moving that back, 3rd and 19. So this is really the time that an HFL defense that has struggled to get off the field on 3rd down this year, this is a chance for them to make a play and set their team up with a chance to win. If Eastridge, which has shown big play capability, is able to convert this.
You got to think that this ball is going somehow to Beeson or Collins.
I would think so. If not, maybe Calkins.
Calixto lofts it up, throws it deep, got a man, and incomplete. Was thrown in the direction of number 3, Dwayne Collins, and we have a flag on the field Got to think that's a defensive pass interference call against HFL.
Which will give Eastridge 15 yards and a first down. Very strong, very good arm strength by Calixto there into the wind. And I think what we hear on Saturdays and Sundays, the defender never turned their head there, made the play on the ball.
Did the ball hit the defender? Couldn't get a good look on that one, but maybe one more time on the instant replay.
So he lets that ball go at the 5-yard line.
And no, I think it was a little bit of face guarding, like you were saying.
And was there maybe a little contact, maybe a push in the chest too before the ball got there?
Hard to tell on the instant replay, but certainly seemed like there was enough to
warrant the
flag. But as you mentioned, it's a 15-yard penalty. It's not an automatic first down. So all that happens is it's third down again for the Lancers, but certainly third and way more manageable. They shifted it to fourth, but there we go. 3rd and 4. So the Lancers still have to try and run a play here.
And if you're a high school defensive back and somebody's behind you with a chance in a tie game, that's not the worst penalty in the world. Now you have to come back and make a play third and 4, but it sure beats getting beat over the top for an 85-yard touchdown.
So 3rd and 4 for the Lancers. Inside their own 30-yard line. Calixto will call his own number, and he powers ahead for the first down. However, we do have a flag down, and it was thrown pretty early in that play.
And the linesman again, you're probably thinking it's a formation deal.
Pre-snap penalties have been the story of the night for both these offenses. And
either illegal procedure or illegal formation. I'll tell you, the linesman, Kenneth Johnson's been very busy. So that'll turn the 3rd and 4 into 3rd and 9. And for the third time on this drive, it's a big third down for the Lancers.
As Coach Davidson is trying to get some clarification from the officials on that.
And was it, formation or?
So they get the penalty called there, and they mark the infraction off. And as you mentioned, it should be about, I would think, 3rd and 9 here.
And again, clock moving pretty quickly, 7:20 left. At some point here, you start to wonder how many more possessions each team is going to get.
Both teams with their full complement of timeouts. And you would think the Lancers have to try and get the ball in the air here. Another flag. I think this might be, they got the left tackle to jump early. It was just before our instant replay started rolling. But, there you go. There it was. Now that left tackle. So as a result, the back-to-back penalties is going to essentially negate the defensive pass interference call we saw 3 third downs ago.
Yep. So, again, another opportunity for both sides here to make a play. And if you're the HFL defense, the goal is to get off the field. If you're the Eastridge offense, it's a way to find a way to get to that marker and move those sticks.
So 3rd and 14. Ball now inside the Eastridge 20-yard line. Calixto from the gun. Looks to throw. Steps up. He lofts a deep ball. It hangs up there forever, and it's incomplete. Was trying to get it to Dwayne Collins.
For the first time in there's a piece. Oh, no, I was going to say there's no flag on the play. But
is that a leaf or some sort of yellow garment on the
far sideline? It gave me pause, but I do think it's going to be 4th down.
No, that's a flag. That's a flag.
Maybe the receiver went out of bounds or a sideline warning? What?
Nope, they're picking it up. He's waved it off. They're picking up the penalty. So no penalty on that play. The 3rd down incompletion will stand. It'll be 4th and 15, and the Lancers are going to be forced to punt.
And James Dietz has done a very good job for Eastridge as the punter tonight. All eyes on the snap here, though. Let's see if it's a clean exchange.
High snap. Dietz has to jump up for that one. He's able to get the kickoff, and it goes out of bounds at the Eastridge 32-yard line. So I know that's not the result the Lancers wanted, but that is a great job. I mean, the ability that he basically caught it, and he just dropped it and was able to
super athletic play there. I mean, when that situation happens, getting the ball past the line of scrimmage in the air is a win, and now that gives Eastridge defense a chance to make a statement here and keep HFL out of the end zone, because anything else, the ball's going the other direction.
And there's been a couple trips that HFL has taken inside the 30-yard line and even the 20-yard line that they've walked away without any points. So the handoff goes here to Harris. Or check that. That was that Feinberg? Or no, they got Owen Englert back in the backfield. And he gets about to 1 yard there on first down.
Well, you're getting to that point of the game. We mentioned it late in the Eastridge series, is how many more possessions are you going to have? So I would think that, HFL, the number one thing you want to do is score. But if it takes you a little bit of time to do that, you're okay with that.
So on 2nd and 9, Meacham hands off Englert. Englert powers ahead. He's going to make it to about the Eastridge 37-yard line.
He's inside the 30. So we're going maybe
27.
Yep.
27-yard line.
And if HFL is going to chew up 4 yards in 40 seconds a play here, it could get pretty interesting. But third and 4 here, big down.
And they keep Englert in the backfield here. Meacham goes with the hard count. Lancers aren't fooled. And still just trying to draw the defense off side. I don't know if he has
timeout HFL.
Yeah, so they didn't have a play called there. So HFL takes a timeout there. That's their first timeout. 5.5 to go. Tie game. You agree with that? What's your thoughts on? Is that a little bit maybe?
Well, I mean, it's worked a couple of times. My immediate thought is give credit to the Eastridge defense for not showing the discipline and not jumping offside. For HFL, it would have been interesting to see how much confidence they have in Englert as a ball carrier to run him on 3rd and 4 from the 27. Who looked like he was set up as the lead blocker there. But I think right now they might go with a more traditional set and move Englert back to guard, but we'll check that out here. And I think one of the things, too, that we asked Coach Russ is we remembered seeing Englert carry the ball. And sometimes when a team moves a player, you worry about, kind of not having, weakening yourself at both positions. But he really gave a shout-out to Blake Fisher, who moves to the guard position. He says, no, we're okay with Englert going to the backfield because Fisher comes in and does a nice job. And Englert's running back out there looking more like a running back than a guard at this point in time, because Fisher is he 56? He's still out there, right?
41. As
Suso's
we have
56.
Stoppage in play.
Back-to-back timeouts for HFL. Now, I don't think that was the plan.
Yeah, it looked like there was, based on what Meacham was doing, he was kind of taking account who was on the field, trying to make sure they had the right formation out there. And you mentioned when your offensive lineman shifts into running back, that changes everyone who's out there. Here's another look at
that's the Owen Englert sack right there.
The sack there by Owen Englert that forced the punt. Well, ultimately forced many plays later.
And here, look at this. He just drops the ball and kicks it with his left foot. I don't know if he's right-footed or left-footed, but I think that's how big of an ad-lib it was, because when he was booming those kicks earlier in the game, I think he's right-footed, which makes that play even more impressive.
So this timeout brought to you by the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. They've been proudly providing local community news for over 35 years. They're a weekly community print newspaper that's been proud to call this area their home all of these years, and their newspapers make the perfect keepsake. So 3rd and 4, Cougars deep into Lancer territory. Handoff goes to Englert. Englert powers ahead, and the spot, hard to tell. It looks like this is going to be 4th down. There's the indication from the official. It's going to be 4th and very short.
But it was 3rd and 4, and HFL got 3/4 of the way there. They loaded up with both Finn and Houle as blockers, and Englert tried to follow them. Didn't get all the way there, but got pretty close. I would not be surprised to see a similar play call right here.
And 4th and 1. Believe they got to get a full yard here. And they run a heavy set to the left. Handoff to Englert. Englert straight ahead. And it looks like that was
a formation penalty on HFL.
The play was shut down, yeah. So that'll shift the Cougars back 5 yards.
And does this bring on Gathercole to try the field goal? I think that in a tie game with 4:48 to go, it would be a 44-yard field goal. I think you keep the offense on the field.
And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. However, they're substituting
a receiver package in.
Yep. So Englert checks off off the field there. So it's 4th and 6 for the Cougars. Meacham from the gun. Meacham to throw. Fires it. Caught. And that's going to be enough for the first down. Mike Meisensaw falls down at about the 20-yard line for the HFL first down, brought to you by HFMP. Entertaining at your home. HFMP is the exclusive purveyor of wholly sustained raised shrimp located in the frozen seafood department.
Great execution there by the Cougars, 4th down. Coach, we talked about it earlier in the game being boring but effective, but when you're 4th and 6 inside of 5 minutes in a sectional semifinal game, you'll take it. Now it's 1st and 10 on the 20. Clock is under 4 minutes. And Englert is back at the running back spot.
1st and 10, handoff to Englert. And Englert tries to fight for the extra yard, and he'll only wind up getting 1.
Right. The element of surprise, I think, is gone with seeing 51 in the backfield.
And Eastridge takes their first time out.
Yep, 3:34 to go. And we see Gathercole warming up here on the near sideline. I would think that, depending on down and distancers, if HFL is unable to convert this into a first down, it might be field goal time. But still 2 more cracks at it, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, how aggressive do you think the Cougars get? I mean, is the priority to just score, or is it to try and chew clock? And
you want a touchdown, especially, I mean, as explosive as this game has been, we've seen 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown. You want to use as much time as you can, but I think.
But how aggressive are you willing to get is my question.
I think you play it close to the vest, but they have options. Aggressive doesn't necessarily mean you don't have options, and that 5-receiver set tonight has been really good with the receivers all going down 6 or 7 yards and stopping. Usually one of the 5 is open. Meacham makes the right choice. Then you can turn a 2nd and 9 into a 3rd and 2, and you're right back at it. But the other thing is how determined is John Russ as a play caller to keep running the ball and watching the Cougars try and impose their will. Now, they're set up that way. Is there a counterplay to this?
And the handoff goes to Englert. Englert inside the 10, inside the 5, and he's tackled at about the 1-2 yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Cougars with about 3.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Now, was that aggressive or was that just imposing the will? I know either way it was effective. And I think that's just confidence. And Coach Russ had seen that. Probably was waiting to the right time to unveil Owen Englert in this position. And what a big run, because he added yards to that just with his physical play at the end of that. Now the Cougars are knocking on the door.
And Englert is still in the backfield. First and goal. Cougars will try and take as much time off the clock as possible. And here's the handoff to Englert, and Englert stopped. Does not find the end zone.
So it'll be second down and about 2.
And
Eastridge takes that timeout.
Second timeout.
You almost have to, because the odds are certainly in HFL's favor to get points here. You don't know if it'll be 3, 6, 7, or 8, but the odds are there. And if you're Eastridge trying to rally, you need as much time as possible.
And this is eerily reminiscent of that third overtime Cougars going into that south end zone. And it was the Eastridge Lancers who were able to intercept Meacham in the end zone. Now, that was a do-or-die situation.
Right. I just rewatched that third overtime last night. Meacham had a quarterback keeper to the 2, and then there were 3 plays, and Eastridge stood really tall on all of those and ended up with the interception at the end. But the HFL offense right now seems to be playing with more confidence. They were in a little bit more scramble mode. They had to score at that point in time. So I think that we're going to see Evan Englert at least once more here.
Second and goal, ball on the 2. Meacham from the gun. Collects the snap. Hands off Englert. Owen Englert is met in the backfield by number 33, and he has been having a night.
Absolutely. Jamal D'Souza Mockbell. And this is interesting, too. So now it's third down, no timeouts. HFL can run off another 40 seconds here. So if you're a Cougar fan, you're hoping for a touchdown of inside the 100-second mark. And if you're Eastridge, you're just doing everything you can to keep those Cougars out of the end zone.
So both teams with only one timeout as we approach the 2-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Here's third and goal for the Cougars. Again, showing heavy package to the right. Handoff to Owen Englert, and he is met and dropped in the backfield. That'll be a loss of another 2 or 3 yards. So this will now be fourth and goal from the 5, and I got to imagine that this is Ezra Gathercole time, as the Lancers should be taking their final timeout here.
Yep, they do. 1:48 showing on the clock. And, HFL certainly, you don't want to go backwards 3 plays in a row. Credit to the Eastridge defense. Reasserted itself with that goal line situation at the point of attack. Now there's obviously no guarantees. Eastridge, we said the points weren't guaranteed. Gathercole's been pretty reliable, but
Eastridge blocked a field goal in overtime when these two teams played each other. I believe that was the first overtime. HFL had a chance to win, and they blocked it going in this direction.
And if memory serves, that might have been Troy Calkins. So spot will be at the 17. We're looking at a 27-yarder.
That seems correct. Meehan was working on his snaps on the sideline during this drive. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick is up. The kick is good. So with 1:46 to go in the fourth quarter, the Cougars find themselves a lead for the first time tonight. Cougars up 24 over the Lancers, who have 21. Still, 1:46 seconds left. Eastridge has no timeouts. However, I'll say the way Calixto can really thread the ball.
Yeah, and the playmakers that they have.
Still.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't really gone to Masetta. He's more of their possession receiver. Probably expect to see him get involved. Collins, we've seen with 2 touchdowns of over 75 yards tonight. He can turn a short play into a big gain really quickly. And Beeson has been a receiver all season. So they really have 3 quality receivers as we see the field goal go up and good. So Eastridge has a chance. Now, the HFL defense has only allowed 7 points this half. So now it's time for them to step up again.
And it was the HFL special teams that allowed those points, not the actual defense.
It was 7-7.
Or excuse me.
It was 7-7 at the half. So.
Yep, they gave up the Beeson touchdown. My mistake. So Cougars come out here. Last time Gather Cole, put it through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Kicks it deep, and he's going to do it again. Ball bounces all the way in the end zone.
So Eastridge has 1 minute 46 seconds and 80 yards. We've seen Meseta kick field goals before, although I would think tonight that might be a little bit more challenging with the wind that we've seen. So here we go.
So the options that Eastridge has to stop the clock: getting out of bounds,
first down,
incomplete pass, and temporarily stopped on first downs. And I would think at a minute 46, that should be more than enough time to navigate down the field if they can generate consecutive positive plays.
And for HFL, right, it's sure tackling. You don't want to turn a minimal gain into a big gain.
Here's the snap. Calixto to throw. Incomplete in the direction for number 9. That's Troy Calkins. He found himself with about 5-6 yards of separation.
He did. There was a nice little design there. Really no harm there. Eastridge just, the ball hits the turf, you line up and do it again. What kind of defense do you play here, Peter? I mean, you let them catch and tackle?
You're certainly not playing a prevent defense at this point, but you want to keep everything in front of you,
right?
Can't let anyone get over top of you, because it seems like Calixto's actually been throwing the ball better towards this direction as he hits number 3. That is Collins, and Collins is up to the 45-yard line.
Crossing route there, pretty safe pattern, a lot of room there for Collins. Good tackle there by Goodberlet, because there might have been more ground to gain there.
So the clock temporarily stops for the chains to reset, and then it will resume. So not even to the, well, it'll be past the 90-second mark the next time they throw the ball. And Eastridge with no timeouts, they are trying to get back.
The second look, there was turf there. Good play design and good play by Goodberlet just to get him down.
Low snap, ball on the ground. Calixto picks it up. Still on his feet, and then he's sacked. Chris Settles in the backfield.
And Settles appears to be hurt, but big play for the HFL defense. Another bad snap for Eastridge. They've had to deal with it a couple times tonight. Holden puts the pressure on, can't get Calixto down. Settles does. And then there's also Bryant Finn there to finish up. So a big loss there, but also now some concern for Chris Settles.
And it wasn't so much as a bad snap as it was an unexpected snap. They were scrambling to get the play in, get in the right formation. Everybody knows what the situation is. The sense of urgency is high, and the unexpected snap there goes right between the legs of Calixto. Luckily, he was able to pick it up, and as right now, just everyone hoping Settles is okay here. Clock will stop, obviously, for the injury.
Under a minute to play here. And Settles has had a good season, a good game. And you hate to see anybody go down with an injury.
Yeah, the junior defensive end for the Cougars has just been steady and reliable throughout the year.
And he's one of those players that I think has been on an upward trajectory, too. All right, he's up, and he is jogging off under his own power, so we'd like to see that.
And he's celebrating with a teammate as he got to the sideline, but he was kind of holding his arm, his left arm there, a little stiff. So likely I would think that indicates a upper body injury, and it's going to be second and very long for Eastridge.
Second and 30?
The ball is at the 25-yard line, and they have to get to the HFL 45-yard line.
So this is one of those where you're not likely to get it all back in one fell swoop. Although underneath there's Calkins.
And here's Calkins. He's going to be knocked out of bounds just before midfield. There is a flag, though, on the field. So, and it's a legal hands to the face on the defense.
Personal foul. So that'll be added on to the run.
So I think that should give them the first down here, depending on how many yards is assessed.
I did see the personal foul signal, so that would probably be 15 yards and a first down with Eastridge at about the HFL 40 with 43 seconds to go.
And there's the indication. It is a new set of downs for the Lancers.
And yep, they're going to add the penalty yardage to where the play ended. So maybe the 37-yard line, 38-yard line. 36.
36. So 36 yards for the Lancers to score a touchdown. 43 seconds, no timeouts. 1st and 10, Calixto to throw. Under pressure, breaks the stack. Still under pressure, refusing to go down, and eventually his forward progress is stopped there.
Youngstrom, Cam, and Finn.
Yep.
And the clock's running. That's the thing. Eastridge had receivers far down the field. They're going to have to hurry.
So that wipes almost half the time off the clock, and the Lancers just spike it. So
they clock it 23 seconds showing on the main scoreboard. And there's that defensive pressure in the big play. Youngstrom comes in, gets there first. Holden Cam's able to shed his blocker. And Calixto's not easy to bring down. Needed help. Referees did stop the play there. 23 seconds, 47 yards away. So we're looking at a 3rd and 21, right? Because they clocked it. Yep, 3rd down.
So 23 seconds. Eastridge, season on the line. They can still get a field goal to tie the game. They don't need a touchdown. This is for a trip to the Section 5 Class B championship game next weekend. Here's the snap. Calixto to throw. Lofts it up. It's caught. Inbounds. Clock will run. That's number 9 for Eastridge.
They almost
Troy
have to
Calkins.
go for the end zone here. 4th down. They're under 10 seconds.
And
we have an injury?
We have an injured player. Injured player on the field. This is Calkins, who just caught the pass, so that will stop the clock.
Main scoreboard showing 7 seconds. 4th down and 8.
Here's another look at that play. So I'm not entirely sure what the rules are for a situation like this.
I think the clock stopped. I don't believe there's a 10-second runoff or anything like that in high school. There isn't. So the main concern is the player safety. They'll look after the player. They'll probably reset the ball, wind the clock as soon as the ball is set, and then Eastridge will have one more chance to make a play. And
Eastridge is already, up for the most part, ready.
Over the ball, you got to be.
And then they'll have, with 7 seconds, you think they can just get something quick and go out of bounds? And do you think it's end zone or bust?
I think it's end zone or bust right here. And now the interesting thing will be, what will John Russ do? Because we see Sean McDermott on Sundays a lot of times in situations like this, takes that Kodak timeout, he calls it. You get a picture of how the offense is lined up and how you're going to defend it. But I think if you're HFL right now, it's just nobody behind you. And if somebody is behind you, you don't let them catch the ball.
And Calkins able to come off the field under his own power, certainly something good to see. Obviously, he'll be out off the field for this play, so he's been their go-to guy.
HFL lines up to rush 3.
And here's Calixto, 4th down, loads it up towards the end zone. It's up, and it's
caught.
Touchdown. Delayed call. Touchdown. No time left. Touchdown, Eastridge. There is a flag in the end zone, but I don't think it's going to impact this one unless it's on the offense. The officials are talking it over, and the indication was a touchdown on the field. And that's a sideline infraction against Eastridge. So, still, I think there's another flag here back.
Time has expired. What is that? Yeah, that flag. Is that in conjunction with the end zone flag?
Touchdown is good. So the touchdown is good. Now the clock's at 0. Do they have to run a...
the officials are leaving.
Yep, so that's the game. So that's the final. HFL 27, Lancers 27. So that's the final from HFL. Eastridge with a Hail Mary touchdown.
Let's run that back. We're not even quite sure who caught that.
So that's the final. Eastridge advances to the Section 5 championship game, Class B. Here's another look at this touchdown. That's going to go down in history for the Lancers to send them to the championship game. And that's number 3, Dwayne Collins, his 3rd touchdown of the day. Punches Eastridge's ticket to the championship, where they will play likely Batavia next Saturday at noon.
And you got to give a ton of credit to Eastridge and a ton of credit to Collins. He went up and got that ball and made a play that he'll probably never forget.
And Eastridge absolutely celebrating this moment. These two teams have played each other 3 times this fall, and Eastridge will ultimately win the series and win the most important one, the one in the playoffs that sends them to the championship game. Steve, what are your closing thoughts here? I mean,
still stunned, Peter. I mean, that was just a crazy ending. Eastridge had a long 3rd down situation, and Calkins made the catch and was injured with 7 seconds left. And in a normal situation, that clock would be running. That injury gave Eastridge another crack at it. We have seen Calixto in the 2 games this year be so good at improvising. He got the ball in the air in the end zone, and the adjustment by Collins was fantastic, and it's just heartbreak for HFL. The Cougars did a lot of things right tonight, but the last play at the end of the game was made by Eastridge, and Eastridge earns that right to go to the Section 5 championship game.
So thanks so much for tuning in to the Section 5 Broadcast Network in partnership with the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. Want to thank our crew from tonight's game, Danny Bassett on camera, Oliver Hansen on instant replay, Brody, I'm blanking on your last name.
Inguajato, Brody Iggy.
Brody Iggy on graphics tonight. I'm Peter Carosa, joined alongside Steve Bradley. For those who have been following HFL along this entire year, thanks so much. We want to thank our sponsors from this past season and tonight. Without them, we would not be able to do this. Until next time, thanks so much for tuning in.